with Mike Moyer, the Executive Director of the National Wrestling Coaches Association. Tonight you presented an award called the Dan Gable America Needs Wrestling Award, and it went to Jim Brown of the View from Section GG 1 and 2. Yes, we actually know the full title of it. First of all, what goes into the award itself? You know, what's the award presented for?
Well, every year there's people that just are so incredibly generous and giving of their time, their energy, their resources, their expertise to promote wrestling. And what we really need is we need a Jim Brown in all 50 states across the country. You know, and the more we bring visibility to the types of things that Jim has done, that permeates in other regions throughout the country, and the overall beneficiary of it is the sport of wrestling.
Now Jim's standing right over here, and Jim, while we get a chance, first thing, you're blogging from a fan's perspective, musings from a wrestling fan is kind of the subtitle of it, but there's more that goes into it. Talk about this Tickets for Kids thing that you've done here with the Division III Championships.
I tried to figure out a way. I had been getting feedback from a lot of people who said that they were concerned that not enough kids were getting exposed to wrestling. And I just tried to figure out what I could possibly do to help that. Plus, I love the Division III tournament. I love my city. I love having the Division III tournament here. And I wanted to come up with some way that I could promote the city, promote the tournament, and get kids exposed to wrestling. And I just thought about it for a while, and the idea was, let's just go out and raise some money, buy some tickets, and give them to kids.
How has the response been here in the local area to the Tickets for Kids campaign?
The business community here has been our largest supporter. We probably got 75% of all of our donations from local businesses. Plugging the local Marriott, they gave me $2,000, and that's 200 kids that get to go just because of them.
Now, Mike, in regards to the Tickets for Kids thing, now how important is something like that to get our young kids to become wrestling fans, not just from the high school level, but for the college level as well, is where we seem to have a problem sometimes filling seats with fans?
Well, Jim brings up a great point. When you go to the respective national championships, what's happening is we're seeing the same fans every year, and we're all getting older together. And what we really have to do is get that younger generation of fan hooked on our sport to make sure that our crowds remain strong, you know, well into the future.
Jim, you had said in the press release that, you know, having your name tied to an award with Dan Gable was humbling. I'm going to ask you to brag on yourself a little bit. You know, do you feel this is deserved, or are you overwhelmed, or you know, what goes through your head when you first found out about it?
I'm really pretty overwhelmed because I can never get beyond the fact that I'm just a wrestling fan. But I guess maybe the only thing is I'm going to give some credit to Al Bevilacqua. A couple of years ago, I started swapping emails with Al, and he just started to motivate me to get off my butt and actually try to do something. And so I have to give Al a ton of credit, because he's really been my role model on this. He's the guy who made me realize that if you're just willing to put in some time, you can get some things done.
Now, what do you think wrestling fans need to do as a whole to, you know, we've got fans that are passionate, but what can those critical masses do to help improve the sport from not just the fan standpoint, but from the sport as a whole?
Well, in the grand big picture of things, we've got to get this sport endowed. We've got to get these small programs. We've got to get at the Division I level. We need to get all the scholarships endowed. It's going to come down to money. So the growth of the sport is going to come down to people who are willing to get in the trenches and work to raise the money that the sport needs to continue to grow. One of my pet things that I say is that as long as we're trying to save wrestling, we're going to lose. But if we're trying to grow wrestling, then we'll win.